afternoon, everyone. And today I just want to outline an initiative that I'll be trialing then in semester 2, which is looking at ways that we could maybe support diverse learners in large first-year classes, which is a significant problem, and doing that through digital tools and technology, essentially. So I think we've heard today quite clearly what are the challenges around large class sizes. So we're faced with growing classes that are getting bigger and bigger. So currently in my semester 2 class, anatomy physiology, I cover about 400 students. And in one of those classes, T101, that's around 320. So that's increased 100 students, compared to 3 or 4 years ago. So we got larger amount of students. That presents issues in terms of personalizing that support, giving that individual support to students. Alongside that, then the diversity of students has increased. So there's variable academic backgrounds. So some of them have gaps in their knowledge coming into the course because of changing module or requirements and getting into that course. There's issues around educational needs as well. And just to take into consideration different learner styles on top of that. There's a whole mix of different things going on. Plus, we have to be cognizant of the fact that these students are moving from secondary education, where you have much more supported learning, into tertiary education, which is much more independent then. So there's a number of issues around that. And that then leads into the risk of disengaging students and inequity then in terms of teaching and learning. And what I've observed over the last particularly 3 or 4 years with these increasing numbers is you've got a rise in the number of repeats. You've also got then issues in terms of student progressing from first into second year. So there's a major challenge around these large class sizes, as we've already identified. So how can we potentially curtail that or solve some of those issues around those areas? And one way that I'm going to trial and implement to see if I can help is through adaptive learning. So this essentially is using technology or different digital tools to personalize the learning and specifically to students based on their performance then. So adapting the learning to how the students are performing in class. And this form of learning then has been shown to improve engagement with students. Improve outcomes, which is what we're interested in. It also then helps them in transitioning to that ability to self-regulate their learning over time as well. And just from the use of digital tools, it opens up accessibility options in terms of how we present the information to them then. So it's much more inclusive and accessible for students too. So speaking to the principals, UDL principals with that as well. So how am I going to approach this, or how am I going to implement that? So in my research, I came across then what is known as the Learning Matters program, which is a program supported by McGraw-Hill, the publisher McGraw-Hill. And the purpose of this program is basically to provide funding to support pedagogical innovation through digital tools. And of course, this being funded by McGraw-Hill, the digital tool in this case is the Connect platform. So this is their adaptive learning platform. Now, Connect has been around for a while, and some of you may use Connect before. We linked in with McGraw-Hill, and 10 years ago with McGraw-Hill, the Connect, the textbook would have been electronic essentially, but now it's changed, and it's changed to what is known as a smart book essentially. So with smart book, you get that electronic textbook, but you can tailor the readings to your course and kind of narrow it down for the students. And the key thing here with the smart book is once they undertake that tailored reading, they get a set of MCQs based on that reading. And then after that, they can get further MCQs based on their performance. So it will provide them specific questions in the areas that they're weaker in. So it helps kind of tailor and support potentially those weaker students, and they can go over that as many times as they want to build that confidence in those areas. And as I already mentioned, obviously it increases accessibility. So has AI Reader, for example, presents information in different formats as well. And the other key thing then is the performance analytics. So you can monitor students' performance and identify areas that they're weak, and then you can adapt in that in terms of the class. So I applied for this and got funding through McGraw-Hill for this. So my aim with this funding was to implement this Connect system and SmartBook system into my first year anatomy and physiology module. So I wanted to utilize this adaptive learning to try and improve engagement, increase engagement, improve outcomes potentially, and use this opportunity to diversify the assessment. So up until now, I just had 100% exam. So I wanted to try and diversify that. So in this, I was hoping to kind of speak to different pedagogical pillars. So in terms of learning, giving them that personalized learning, adaptive learning, supporting that self-regulated learning through this approach. In terms of teaching, I'm hoping then by giving them SmartBook readings before they go to class can help scaffold their learning. And also then I can adjust the teaching on the fly before I go in. So look at the analytics, maybe see where students are struggling, where they're not understanding, and adapt my teaching accordingly. And then also I want to integrate the continuous assessment quiz as part of the course, so it's not 100% exam anymore. So it speaks obviously to some of the pedagogical values in terms of inclusivity, accessibility, and student empowerment as well. So how I went about this. So this has been in the pipeline for the last year. So I had to get some of the changes into the teaching meeting in March. So the way I've structured this, I took the decision to have the SmartBook readings as independent learning. So I didn't want to attach any marks to this and end up inflating the overall marks and trying to keep academic integrity. So I've given them tailored SmartBook readings, really short, so 20 to 40 minutes length at most. Per topic, of which there's 8 topics. And then after that, they can undertake the practice MCQs associated with those tailored learnings. So they can go in and out of that as many times as they want with the practice MCQs. And each time they go in and they complete the MCQs, the next set then is changed based on their performance. And we'll look into those areas that are weaker. So they have that in their own time. They can complete that as part of their independent learning. And how I link that in and try and encourage them then to go to the SmartBook. So this will only really work if they buy in and they link in with the SmartBook essentially. So I have integrated the continuous assessment, which was 20%, or MCQs were 20% in total. And these are based on the SmartBook readings. So the idea is they interact with the SmartBook, they undertake the MCQs as part of that. Similar style of MCQs and content will be examined in the actual continuous assessment. So hopefully I get buy-in with that, and that encourages them to engage with the material. That's perfect. So as I said, this is going to be rolled out in semester 2, so I haven't undertaken this yet. So what I hope I'll get back from this, so I hope then that this will provide some personalized learning at scale without increasing the workload, which is a common issue with this. Alongside that, I'm hoping it's going to build self-regulated learning for the students, increase accessibility, and cover some of those UDL principles. And then for us as lecturers in the university, hopefully it provides more scalable platform for assessment and formative feedback, direct feedback to students. I think the analytics will be quite interesting to try and identify areas that students are maybe weak and adjust on the fly to that rather than retrospectively, as people mentioned. And it aligns nicely then with DCU's kind of digital transformation and inclusive teaching and learning as well. So once I run it, I'm going to evaluate that. I'll look at the scalability and the ability to expand that. So first off, does it have any impact? Is it useful or not? And if it is, can we scale it up? Can we run it or lead it out into other modules? And outside of that, I'm also interested, obviously, with this, there's a McGraw-Hill subscription and there's a cost with that. So I'm also interested in thinking about alternatives, particularly now in the advent of Gen AI. How could we do this ourselves individually? So that's where I'm kind of focusing my interest next. to see if I can come up with something in that area. So hopefully next year I can come back and share you some of the results. But thank you for listening.